Michelle Wie, once hailed as one of the brightest prodigies in golf, captivated the world with her exceptional talent and audacious goals. From a young age, her immense potential promised a groundbreaking career. She was not just a golfer, she was a trailblazer, determined to compete against the best players in the world, including men. Her rise through the ranks was meteoric, but her journey was not without its challenges. Injuries, criticism, and the pressure of expectations created an undercurrent of difficulty. Still, it was a single tragedy that would ultimately derail her career, casting a shadow over her legacy and leaving fans to wonder what might have been. Before we start, smash the like and subscribe buttons for more updates. Wie's ascent into professional golf was nothing short of extraordinary. As a teenager, she was competing in PGA Tour events and holding her own against some of the best players in the game. The media likened her to Tiger Woods, with analysts predicting she would redefine the sport and inspire a new generation. Yet the demands placed upon her were immense. She had to navigate the cutthroat world of professional golf while balancing her education and personal life, all under the unrelenting scrutiny of the public eye. It was a recipe for burnout, and even before tragedy struck, signs of wear were beginning to show. The fateful incident that destroyed Wie's career occurred during a pivotal moment. At the time, she was grappling with a series of injuries, each more debilitating than the last. These physical setbacks had already forced her to withdraw from several tournaments, but she remained steadfast, unwilling to give up. She saw each new obstacle as a test of her resolve, a challenge to be conquered. That determination, while admirable, may have also been her undoing. Pushing her body to its limits, she entered a tournament that would prove to be the breaking point. The scene was dramatic. Wie, despite not being at full health, was competing valiantly, driven by the hope of reigniting her career. Fans watched with bated breath as she took her stance on the 16th hole, a seemingly routine part of the course. What happened next would forever change the trajectory of her life. A swing that was meant to showcase her precision and power instead revealed the fragility of her condition. As she struck the ball, something went terribly wrong. Wie winced in visible pain, clutching her wrist as the crowd gasped. She had re-aggravated an injury, but this time it was worse than anyone could have anticipated. The damage was immediate and catastrophic. The injury, later confirmed to be a severe ligament tear in her wrist, required extensive medical attention and months of rehabilitation. But beyond the physical toll, the incident had a profound psychological impact. For an athlete like Wie, whose identity was so deeply intertwined with her sport, the injury was devastating. It wasn't just a setback, it was a blow to her confidence and her sense of self. The 16th hole had become a cruel metaphor for the fragility of her dreams. The implications of the injury extended far beyond the confines of that single tournament. Golf is a sport that demands precision, strength, and above all, consistency. A wrist injury, particularly one as severe as Wie's, is not easily overcome. Every swing requires the coordinated effort of muscles, tendons, and bones, all working in perfect harmony. A disruption to this delicate balance can throw off an athlete's game entirely. For Wie, who had built her reputation on her powerful drives and technical prowess, the injury was nothing short of catastrophic. The road to recovery was arduous. Wie underwent surgery and months of physical therapy, but the injury had left its mark. Her once fluid swing now appeared mechanical, hesitant. Each tournament she entered was a reminder of what she had lost. She struggled to regain her form, often finishing well behind the leaders. Critics, who had once lauded her as a prodigy, now questioned whether she had been pushed too hard, too soon. The media, which had once celebrated her every move, now focused on her struggles, amplifying the sense of failure. Beyond the physical and technical challenges, the injury took a toll on Wie's mental health. Confidence, an intangible yet crucial aspect of any athlete's success, was elusive. She began second-guessing her abilities, a stark contrast to the bold, fearless teenager who had once dared to challenge the sport's conventions. The fear of re-injury loomed large, affecting her performance and decision-making on the course. Golf, a game as much about mental fortitude as physical skill, became an uphill battle for Wie. The tragedy of the 16th hole also underscored the precarious nature of professional sports. Wie's story became a cautionary tale about the dangers of pushing young athletes too far, too fast. As a teenager, she had been thrust into the spotlight, expected to compete at the highest level against seasoned professionals. The pressure to perform, coupled with the physical demands of the sport, created a perfect storm. While her talent was undeniable, her body was still developing, making her more susceptible to injuries. The events of that fateful day served as a stark reminder of the costs of such relentless ambition. The injury also highlighted the broader challenges faced by women in sports. Wie had long been a trailblazer, breaking barriers and challenging norms. But her journey was fraught with additional scrutiny and criticism, much of it rooted in gender biases. Her decision to compete in men's tournaments, for instance, was met with both admiration and skepticism. The pressure to prove herself not just as a golfer but as a symbol of gender equality added another layer of complexity to her career. The tragedy of the 16th hole brought these issues into sharp focus, sparking debates about the expectations placed on female athletes and the support systems needed to help them succeed. The physical and emotional scars left by the injury were compounded by the realization that her career would never be the same. Wie's dreams of dominating the sport, of competing against the best and proving her critics wrong, were now out of reach. The injury had not only robbed her of her physical abilities, but also shattered her sense of invincibility. For someone who had spent her entire life striving for greatness, the loss was profound. Michelle Wie's story is one of immense talent and unfulfilled potential, a narrative shaped by both triumph and tragedy. The events of the 16th hole serve as a sobering reminder of the challenges faced by athletes at the highest level. They reveal the fine line between ambition and overextension, between resilience and vulnerability. For Wie, the tragedy was not just a physical injury but a symbolic moment encapsulating the complexities of her journey. It destroyed her career in ways that went far beyond the golf course, leaving a legacy marked by both brilliance and heartbreak. The tragedy of the 16th hole not only derailed Michelle Wie's career but also created ripple effects that reshaped her approach to life and sport. This single moment of misfortune was a culmination of years of relentless pressure, intense physical demands, and the inherent unpredictability of professional sports. To truly grasp the depth of its impact, it is crucial to examine the broader context of what this injury represented, not just for Wie, but for the world of golf and the way we view prodigious talent. For Michelle Wie, golf was never merely a pastime or a profession, it was a defining aspect of her identity. From the moment she burst onto the scene as a precocious child, golf was the framework through which she interpreted success, failure, and self-worth. The injury at the 16th hole shattered this framework, leaving her to navigate an unfamiliar world where her once reliable skills could no longer guarantee her dominance. It was a sobering confrontation with limitations she had never anticipated. The fallout from the injury extended beyond her physical struggles. Wie's status as a role model and a symbol of progress in the sport placed her under a microscope, even as she sought to rebuild herself. Every faltering performance and missed cut invited renewed criticism from skeptics and analysts who questioned whether she had been more hype than substance. The voices that once celebrated her groundbreaking achievements now cast doubts, creating an isolating sense of scrutiny. For an athlete whose early years had been marked by unshakable confidence, this shift was a profound challenge to her resilience. Furthermore, the tragic moment on the 16th hole called attention to the broader vulnerability of prodigies in sports. Wie's trajectory, while unique in its specifics, echoed themes seen in the careers of other young athletes pushed into the professional spotlight too soon. Her injury was a reminder that even the most promising talents are not immune to the physical and psychological tolls of relentless competition. It highlighted the need for better safeguards to protect young stars from the unsustainable demands of early stardom, which can transform their potential into pressure that becomes impossible to bear. The implications of this injury also underscored the complexities of modern sports medicine and recovery. Golf, unlike many other sports, involves repetitive, high-stakes physical motions that are deceptively punishing. An injury to a single joint or tendon can have cascading effects, altering not just technique, but also the psychological approach to the game. For Wie, the 16th hole represented a cruel irony. A sport she mastered so brilliantly in her youth had now become the source of her greatest vulnerability. Even with the best medical interventions and rehabilitation plans, the lingering effects of such an injury can last a lifetime, reminding athletes of their mortality in the most humbling way. If you like this video, please give it a like and subscribe to our channel. Also, leave your comments below and tell us, what are your thoughts on the tragedy that impacted Michelle Wie's golf career? We want to hear from you. Thank you for watching and see you next time.